Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing the Warzone 4 spawn. This spawn can be found in the eastern part of the Nome Deep Hub. To get to this spawn, I'll be starting at Edron Depot and using the Gnomish Crystal teleport system. You'll require a teleport crystal to use these teleporters. Once you get to Khazad-dûn, you will go to the south to reach the Nome Deep Hub. You can speak to any of the main NPCs in this area and say status to determine how many points you have for the Warzone. You'll have to ask using the gnomes keyword, which are the tasks for the NPC Gnomus, to determine how many points you have for this Warzone. It will require 15 points to enter the Warzone. If you have the maximum rank in the Bigfoot's Burden quest, it'll cost 10 points instead. These points can be accumulated by doing tasks for Gnomus or by handing in suspicious devices. Each suspicious device is worth 1 point. Once you have enough points, you can enter the energy wall and break one of the lava pumps. There are 3 that are found in this area. Once you break the lava pump, you can leave this area and jump in the portal to the north. You will now have access to Warzone 4 for 8 hours. The main creatures you'll find here in Warzone 4 are chasm spawns. There are also elder worms, drill worms, and moles, but chasm spawns are the most abundant by far. This isn't a top tier spawn, but can be a good place to try hunting if you are having trouble finding a spawn free on your server, such as during double experience or another event where you're having trouble finding a free spawn. Most of the pulls is fairly easy to pull at least an 8 box and sometimes more creatures. You could start hunting the spawn as early as level 350, but you may want to take slightly smaller pulls and use a prismatic ring. The narrow pathways in this spawn make it easier to manage the pulls if you're having trouble. I've hunted this spawn with manas only, but I preferred great spirits to make the boxes easier. When hunting here, I used 1 powerful crit, 2 powerful life leech, 2 powerful mana leech, and an intricate magic level imbue, which I always have on my coif. Also, I had a powerful snake skin, which is the earth protection imbue on my armor. I had this imbue as I've been hunting lots of areas lately with earth damage, but it isn't as useful in this spawn. With my imbue and sleep shawl, I was only taking 8 to 10% earth damage. Chasm spawns take an additional 30% damage from fire, so you'll definitely want to use GFB here. If you do want to optimize your runes, you could bring some avalanche as well, as there's 1 or 2 pulls that will be mainly elder worms. While hunting here, I was able to make around 2.9 million experience per hour on 150%, and typically between 400k and 500k per hour profit, not counting the cost of imbues. Your profit can also fluctuate quite a bit depending on how lucky you are with suspicious devices and the cost of them on your server. I was looting 6 to 8 suspicious devices per hour, and they were worth 17k on my server at the time of the recording. Based on the input analyzer, the max DPS I received was 2,431. This is why I preferred Great Spirit Potions, because I wanted to box and it made the pulls less stressful. While kiting the creatures, you actually don't take that much damage, but they do hit hard in melee, which is why that DPS would shoot up when I would stop to box. When hunting here, I was taking 75% to 85% damage from chasm spawns. The remaining damage was split pretty evenly between elder worms and drill worms. Typically, I was receiving 75% physical damage, 9% to 10% earth damage, and the remaining percentages being made up of other elements at 5% damage and under. As I mentioned, I was using powerful snake skin while hunting here. It isn't necessary, as quite a low percentage of the damage was earth, but you may want to try it out. Other than that, you'll just want to stack as much physical protection as possible. The sleep shawl will be slightly more expensive to use over a pendulet, but you get the benefit of 2% more physical protection and the 24% earth protection. The best trinket to use will be Moon Mirror because there's a bit of death damage in this spawn. Also, if you're a lower level or trying to spawn out for the first time, you may want to use a prismatic ring for the additional physical protection until you're comfortable. The cost to access the spawn makes it not a great area if you only have time for a quick 1 hour hunt. Though the profit will still cover the cost of the entrance, this becomes a better spawn and you're able to hunt for a longer duration or return multiple times in the same 8 hour period, as you only have to pay the entrance fee the once. Also, it's important to know that you can still enter the Warzone before the 8 hours is up, but you will not be kicked if you're already inside. This means you can enter the spawn 7 hours and 59 minutes after you first enter the portal and still do a full hunt. You can even log out within the spawn and come back more than 8 hours later and still be able to do your hunt without having to pay for access again until you leave the spawn. This can be a good spawn for hunting task completions. Once I perfected my route, I was killing 550 to 600 chasm spawns per hour. You'll be doing pretty well with elder worms as well, with around 120 per hour, and drill worms with over 300 per hour. If you wanted the hunting task points, I'd probably only come here if you managed to roll chasm spawns, or want to manually roll them several times in a row while you had access using your multiple slots. Or, if you just want to complete these entries, then continue hunting here for more time to cover the entrance fee. There are a total of 140 charm points available in this spawn, but you may not want to complete all of them here. The main reason to come here is for the chasm spawn. Warzone 4 is the only place in Tibia you'll find these creatures, and they'll give 50 charm points on completion. Elder worms will also give 50 charm points, and this can be a pretty good spawn to complete them. You'll make better experience killing them in the wildlife raid in Ormond, where you'll probably kill more per hour in Drefia, but this has the benefit of being a spawn where you typically won't be bothered by others. There are many places to complete drill worms, but if you do not have them done yet, they'll be unlocked here before finishing chasm spawns. As for moles, they can only be found in Warzone 4 and Warzone 6. Based on my routes, I was killing twice as many moles per hour in Warzone 4, but the experience and profit is better in Warzone 6. If you want to complete them, it would be personal preference if you preferred Warzone 4, which will unlock them quicker and is hunted less often, or Warzone 6, which is a more popular spawn, a slower completion, but the benefit of increased experience and loot. Based on my rates at this spawn though, it would take 4.5 hours to complete chasm spawn, 21 hours to complete elder worm, 3.5 hours to complete drill worm, and 15 hours to complete mole. Hopefully this video can help you find a spawn if you're struggling, and give you an idea for something new. If you have any questions, or if you try this spawn out for yourself, let me know in the comments. It will be helpful to see how different vocations and level ranges are able to handle it. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below as it will help me out. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.